Welcome back again to the garden. I haven't been doing a very good job of getting out into the garden, but still we are going to take a look at what's going on out here. There's not much going on out here at all. Right now we just have a lot of green growth. I've been staying on top of my weeding chores, which you should be very proud of me about because I am terrible when it comes to weeding. I mean, let's just face the facts here. But we did get a lot of stuff done. This week I am going to be trellising the dahlias very soon. I'm also going to be pinching those, so let me know if you want a video about pinching and trellising those. I'll definitely do one about trellising. I also got a lot more of my other dahlias into the ground. Some of these things just take a long time to sprout. I get a lot of questions like, you know, I planted these 5 weeks ago and they're not sprouting. What's going on? Listen, I'm right there with you. I got the same thing going on. I have just this one tray of dahlia tubers left. They have eyes. They're nice and firm. They've been potted up for over 6 weeks now, and they are not sprouting. I'm just going to leave them in their tray, leave them outside in the garden, and wait patiently. Hopefully they will sprout. It rained all last week, but now it is blazing hot here today. Making this video. It's 94 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is in Celsius, but just trust me, it's hot. The humidity's through the roof, so the plants are drooping a little bit. Our feverfew has finally started to bloom, which is looking pretty good. I'm actually really surprised by how similar these look to each other. So far only 2 varieties have opened and they look almost identical. At least not enough for me to want to grow both varieties again in the future. I'm going to have another video showing the details of those 2 varieties. As you can see, because we got so much rain, they look a little bit dirty, which I'm not a fan of. Also in the garden, we have some Snapdragon starting to open, but again, not really ready to show you guys that yet. Not really in full bloom there. We also have our first Calla Lilies coming up. Really have been working hard to get all the weeds out of that bed this week so that we can see these beautiful Calla Lily blooms. So far we have a couple yellow flowers and some really beautiful dark purple flowers like the others that I've already mentioned. If you want to see a full tour of the Calla Lilies this year, let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to make a video about that. Also in the yard we have our lilies. You'll remember we planted this huge patch of lilies and they are getting so much taller. They're so tall. A lot of the Asiatic lilies that we have in this little lily bed have started to kind of bud up. We can see lots of flower buds there. Not really. They don't really seem like they're too deterred by the fact that we planted them so close. Also, some of the Oriental lilies, you know, starting to bud up as well. Other things going on in the garden, of course, we have this big old row of our Gladiolas here in the center. They're getting taller and taller, and we were just waiting patiently for those to begin to produce blooms. And I used to have that black landscape fabric down, but ever since I picked that up, the mint has taken over. That was such a mistake putting mint in the yard. There is some grass in here just because it's a little bit difficult to weed in between things right now, just because I have things crammed so tight, but lots of mint. I don't know how I'm gonna get rid of it. This is I definitely feel a little bit overwhelmed by the garden right now. I would be lying to you guys if I said I didn't, because I overestimated my abilities big time this season. I bought way too many seeds, I bought way too many bulbs, and honestly, I have everything crammed in here so tight, it is nearly impossible to walk through the garden, let alone weed it or anything like that. So I'm actually looking forward to some of these crops, these cut flower crops, to begin blooming so that I can just have a little bit of space to breathe, you know, so I can kind of tear those out and think about replacing them with something new. One thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about the dahlias, we have our Dahlia Seedlings, the dahlias that we grew from seed this year, the seed that we saved last year. And I was a little bit worried about how small these were, but now that the weather has warmed up and we're getting consistent rain, it seems like these look absolutely phenomenal. They're getting much, much bigger, and we're starting to see kind of the different characteristics of the leaves. We have some of these plants with the kind of toothy leaves and some of them with more broad leaves. All of the foliage looks amazingly healthy. I'm really excited about this. This is looking really good. Got to make sure I stay on top of keeping the grass out of that as well. I did lose some of my dahlia tubers, some of the plants, when it was raining so much. I guess they got too wet and they started to rot. I did lose some of those, which is kind of unfortunate. But otherwise, it's looking pretty good in the dahlia bed. We also have our zinnias that are still doing well. I have not pinched them yet. I'll probably pinch the zinnias sometime this week. Also, if you are unfamiliar with the process of pinching zinnias, we have a video on that. It's actually one of our more popular videos that I did last year. People seem to really like it. So if you are new to growing zinnias or you haven't pinched them before, maybe that's something to check out. I'll put a link in the little cards right here so you can click on it if you want to watch that one. The Lavatera is also coming into bloom, which I was really excited about because I love Lavatera. They were so pretty. But the only thing weird going on is this bright pink silver cup Lavatera is doing great. It looks exactly how it should. The flowers are nice and big. The plants are nice and tall. But the pink Regis Lavatera that I ordered from Floret is behaving very weirdly. The plants are tall. They look exactly how they should look. However, when it comes time to open, they are producing these weird teeny tiny flowers. You can see the difference between the two. And this is some kind of fluke or something is going on because last year I grew pink Regis and it was beautiful and it was the same size and kind of stature as this other Lavatera that I'm growing. So I'm really confused. So if you've ever grown Lavatera and had these kind of stunted flowers, let me know in the comment what the culprit of that was, because there's nothing different. I mean, they're in the same bed. They have the same soil conditions. They have the same everything. They were started from seed at the same time. It's a mystery to me. So let me know if you're having that experience. I would love to hear from you in the comments, of course. That's really about it. Our Gerber Daisies, they're not really growing. We started these from the winter sowing method. They're just sitting there being small. They have some really nice foliage, but I think they definitely need to be getting bigger if they're going to bloom. I don't know when those are going to bloom. Also, still working very hard to keep the weeds out of the Lisianthus. These Lisianthus are really a labor of love. I know there isn't much going on right now in the garden. I'm sorry about that, but I thought a lot of you guys might have wanted a quick look around. That's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I am so appreciative. I really am. As always, be sure to leave a comment down below. I love to know what you guys think. Was it helpful? What experiences do you have? I'm always learning from the comments, which I really love. As always, if you're not a subscriber and you like this video, be sure to hit the little subscribe button, hit the little bell. The bell tells you whenever we make new videos. It's a great way to keep up with the channel and grow just our little gardening community here. As always, all the links to everything is down in the description below. Our link to Patreon and our YouTube memberships is there. It helps support the channel. It helps me pay for things like blog fees, and occasionally I get help with editing, which is really helpful because let's face it, I am not the most tech savvy person on the planet. But I am trying to keep learning and keep making our videos better. There's also a link to the blog. Oftentimes you could check out the blog and there would be more information and more pictures about the thing that I've talked about in the video, just because sometimes it helps for me to write down that information and kind of organize it much better. As always, feel free to share this video with a friend. It helps us so much when we grow the channel. I hope that you're having such an incredible day, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.